Good morning, it's Barbara. Look what Dennis brought down for me. Tour de France started, so I thought, just in case something inside me wanted to really do this, I'm ready. This bobbin, doesn't it look beautiful? Look what I did 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago during Tour de France. Yeah. It's very well rested, that single. We'll see what happens today. I'm making no promises, and I certainly don't expect to be able to show you any yarn tomorrow, because today is just going to be relearning how to spin. And here's the gizmo. So it's warm outside, but I don't think it's too muggy. I'm hoping. We'll see. My peppers are going great guns. We'll soon be able to harvest some jalapenos. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. Yeah. My flowers are looking good. My Gerber daisies. I don't know. The flowers didn't last very long. I guess I need to cut those off. And look at my little verbena. It's going mad. So I'm very excited. Probably need to water my snapdragons. Dennis is going to get the chainsaw out in a little while and start working on that. We were talking about me helping him, but he seems to think maybe I should just spin. Isn't he the best? Let me put you on the video. Good morning. Are you my good girl? You're both good girls. You're my sweet, cuddly girl. Yes, you are. I don't know if they can see you. Give them a headache. Good morning. Hold on. She's done. Good morning. It's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Maisie is hot. She loves to sit out in the sun for quite a while. Pearl will sit out in the sun for a while. Okay, this is my second lip stain that I got, just like yesterday's. I will confess, I did not go back and look at my lips at the end of the day and see if they were still stained. So this is a brick, kind of a brick color. It's called Black Cherry. Black Cherry. All right. See if I can do this. It's a little later, so it's not quite so glary as yesterday. I hear some rustling under my feet. Somebody's under the deck. It's amazing. I don't even have a napkin out here. That's gonna do it. Anyway, okay, now this is a lip gloss that stains. Oh, I like that color though. Yeah, I'm happy with the color. So when I drink my coffee, it'll come up on my coffee cup. So anyway, I woke up this morning. Well, last night I was watching Peacock. Oh, so many things passing through my brain. First thing I want to say, totally random, not connected to anything else, is next Saturday is our Zoom call. So put that on your calendar, 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Saturday the 12th. Okay. So last night I discovered there is another episode of Poker Face. I had thought the last time that it was the last episode because season 1 only had 10 episodes, and last week was the 10th episode of season 2. Wrong. There's at least 12 because episode 11 ended in a cliffhanger. So there's going to be at least one more, unless, oh my God, they wouldn't cliffhang the whole season, would they? That would be annoying. But anyway, there's at least 11. So I was watching that. So I was on Peacock, which is where Poker Face is. Now I pay for Peacock, and I pay for Peacock because 2 years ago I had the idea, I wanted to go back and watch the Tour de France, because I had done that a few years ago and really enjoyed it and spun. So I thought 2 years ago, I thought, oh, let me see what I'm, but it turns out it was only on Peacock, which I have to pay for. So I think I pay $5 a month, something like that. And it was a free trial, which I could take all the way through the Tour de France. But, those free trials, they work for a reason, because you don't cancel them. So anyway, I watch Peacock. So, I'm getting my money's worth, I think. But meanwhile, I saw a commercial for it's the Tour de France starting July 5th. That was yesterday. So I'm like, oh. So I started watching the replay last night, but it was like bedtime, and I'm fast forwarding and trying to get to the start of the race. So I got to the start of the race, and then I realized, I got 3 more hours on this video, and there's no, forget it. So I went to bed. But I was thinking, Tour de France. Maybe I should try to do some spinning. Have my own tiny little personal Tour de Fleece. So I asked Dennis to bring my wheel down this morning, and a lovely man as he is, he said, of course. And he did. Now, it's been 2 years since I spun, but I am quite certain that everything else besides the wheel is still downstairs, either in the dining room or tucked behind my chair, because I don't put anything away. So I will be rummaging around and getting everything. I'm really proud, to say, of that single that I spun. Wasn't it beautiful? 2 years ago. It's still on the bobbin. I do have more bobbins. I had bought extra bobbins back in the day. So, but I'm not sure, but that might be the second bobbin. And if it's the second bobbin, then there may be some plying in my near future, but we shall see. But it's been 2 years. That wheel, I want to say that wheel, my sister gave me that. That was her wheel from literally 40 years ago, maybe 50. She was a fiber artist. She was an artist. Flat out, she was an artist. And she did art in many different media. And in her early days, she was flat out a fiber artist. She was a weaver. I have some wall hangings of hers. Oh, I should show those to Christy next time she's here. She might want them. They are quite big. I don't know if Christy has big walls that need something, and they will need to be cleaned. But anyway, so she had her own spinning wheel. Now, I have some of the yarn she spun. She had spun some silk, and I don't think she was happy with her yarns. And she stopped spinning, and she stopped weaving. I mean, she had a loom, almost like a room-size loom. She had a lot of space, and she had a huge loom that she got rid of for free. I hope to God it didn't go in the dumpster when she moved from California to Idaho. But anyway, Christy got a couple of small looms of hers, and so that she can be my daughter Christy. So my sister and my daughter are both Christy. Daughter Christy got some of the looms, inherited some of the looms from my sister when she passed. But anyway, that wheel was my sister's, and she gifted it to me. And so actually she was quite impressed, because she was visiting when I first learned to spin. I was spinning on a drop spindle, and and I told her I was spinning and I was using a drop spindle, and she was like, oh, that's nice, blah, blah, sort of, okay. She always spun on a wheel. And so I showed her my yarn, and she was very impressed, because I spun some beautiful yarn on that drop spindle. You can spin beautiful, consistent, lovely yarn on a drop spindle. And it's a very low price point to get in to try it. And so much of the technique of a drop spindle is translatable to using a wheel. I mean, when you master drop spindling, it really helps you towards, I mean, it's different, of course, but it really helps you towards being able to spin with a wheel. So anyway, she was very impressed with my yarn, and at a not too much later date, she offered me her wheel because she had moved to ceramic arts. She had been doing ceramics for a long time, and then moved to warm glass work, and that's what she was doing at the end when she was doing art. Although she did take up knit. She knit Dennis's scarf for Christmas the other year, so she was kind of back, but she wasn't spinning, and she didn't want her wheel back. So, but she built that wheel. You know, it was a kit. Ashford. It's an Ashford traditional, and she built it from a kit. So anyway, so I will be spinning on my sister's wheel, trying to get my mojo back and my, you know, bring more energy, positive energy in myself, and I think that will work very well. And the Tour de Fleece is as good a reason as any. So anyway, my plan today is to put on the rerun of yesterday's start of the Tour de France, and because it's very early for me, and so the rerun works because, you know, on some level, I know people don't tape sports, and, you know, once that's over, they, you know, but I'm not that way. I'm happy to watch it on delay, let's put it. I'm not likely to get any spoilers because Tour de France isn't anywhere in my news gathering, you know, arena. So anyway, and I thought, oh, let me, you know, it's been the first time I've had an urge for a very long time to spin. So I thought I would enlist Dennis's help to help me move in that direction. Again, I'm making no promises. It's possible that I'll get so frustrated because I can't remember what to do and I'm not doing it right that it's not a positive, and I might stop. But that's where I am this morning. You know, I'm like a person with a note, like a goldfish. This is what I'm thinking at this moment. Whether I think that in 20 seconds, who knows? Anyway, so yeah. But I do love that beautiful orange single I spun 2 years ago that I haven't done anything with. Now I got to dig up my stuff and see. I have an idea. That's the second bobbin of that fiber. Because in all the moving around, it's just a box of bobbins and things that I, you know, have moved over the last couple of years. I'm not recalling sort of a big braid of fiber, orange fiber that's around. So I'm thinking that, you know, I'll find it if there's a second one. If not, I can chain ply this and it will be beautiful at some point when I have the energy. Chain plying I find to be trickier, and so it will not be among the first things I do when I'm back on that. On that wheel. But I have the closet in Aura's sitting room, which used to be my craft room, is full of fiber. I have more fiber than I could spin in my lifetime. I was in fiber clubs, you know, and when I saw something I liked, I had a tendency to buy enough that I could spin it and make a sweater. Now, have I ever spun a sweater quantity? I have not. But could happen, and I have enough. I mean, you know, I can imagine having not quite enough and just taking all the different singles, because those colors are so lovely to you know, spin and go to the next one kind of a thing. So we shall see. But meanwhile, I even have 300 grams of cashmere. I won 300 grams of cashmere fiber the first time when I was just learning to spin. I hooked up with this club called Fiberista, and it ran for a while. The guy, I want to think that the guy who ran it was just naive and not a crook. But he ran it for a while, and it was really nice, and I got some really beautiful fiber from it. But and when I was doing that drop spindling during Tour de Fleece, I won a prize, and the prize was 300 grams of cashmere fiber. And he gave it to me. Now, the problem he had later is that he was giving away patterns, and he wasn't paying for them. He would buy one version of the pattern and then distribute it to everybody in his club. Not kosher. Naive? Crook? Not sure. Anyway, it's not in business anymore. But because of that, I have 300 grams of undyed cashmere. Well, I don't know how easy cashmere is to spin, but one day I will find out. Or give one of my spinning friends an amazing gift. One or the other. Or both, since I have 300 grams. So anyway, that's my thinking. I didn't even mention, I had a wonderful time yesterday. We had a lovely, lovely barbecue at my son's. He fixed my headlights, so now the car is in good shape. The dog car is in good shape to be used until we can get our Happy People car fixed. And that was lovely. He and Dennis went to the auto parts store, which worked out great because Dennis needed a couple things from there anyway. And then Jason, I mean, it took literally 10 minutes. Not even. For him to change that light bulb. So it was great. You know, we get a lot of good car advice from my son. He's been a car person since he was 2. So he knows a lot about cars. He's in the business. You know, but he hasn't actually worked on my car very often. You know, I've never really lived close enough for him to be like my go-to guy. And he would do my car every day if I lived nearby and needed help with my car. I mean, he loves working on cars and he loves me. So there's no question about that. So he was very happy to help, and it worked great. It worked out great. And we had a wonderful time. It's funny because they have a smallish deck off of a screened porch, or a 3-season porch. And we were all outside because it was beautiful, beautiful weather. And it turns out they have a pool, not an in-ground pool, one of those, but a big pool. And apparently, Jason's dad, Steve and Janice, gave it to them a couple years ago for Christmas. So I was teasing them because they didn't tell me they had a pool, so I didn't bring my bathing suit. And I thought that was kind of on purpose. I was teasing them. But the granddaughters went in, and Jason's sister Diana and her husband went in. So there were people in the pool, and a neighbor girl came over, and they were having fun, and it was a lot of fun. But it's interesting, this is not a big patio, but we still tend to split a little bit. You know, Allison's side were at the table, and we were on the couch. Jason's side, we were on the couch and around. I mean, this was a small enough patio that we were all interacting, but it was just really funny to me. We've done that before. But Steve and Janice had just came back from an amazing trip to Egypt. They sailed up the Nile a month ago, like in May. Maybe it was at the end of May. 128 degrees. Steve is like, yeah, it was a dry heat, but it doesn't matter. 128 degrees is really, really hot. But they had a great time, and I really enjoyed following their adventures because Janice posts on Instagram. So we were talking about traveling. They had also done an amazing I would call it like a river cruise, except it was like around the Mediterranean. So they were in North Africa, they were in, Italy, and, so it was, So anyway, they've been on some adventures lately, and I've been enjoying following them along. But we get along very, very well. And so we all sat around talking and laughing, and anyway, it was very, very lovely. And I had a lot of fun. And I told them they need to do this more often. Because I really enjoyed myself. And now it's easier for us to just take off for a afternoon. And, I texted Kim and said, we're going to be busy. Can you go see your mom today? And she's like, oh, sure. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And by the way, they're having a luau. So I hope she had fun. But, and to be fair, we could have done that and asked her to come over to our house when Aura was living with us. But we just tended to not do that. But Kim was always happy to help. So anyway, so it worked out. We had a wonderful time. The dogs did okay while we were gone. But as I expected, our neighbor on the 4th of July didn't do a lot of fireworks. And so we were like, okay. But we came home last night. We got home about 5 o'clock. 5:15, there was his whole front yard was full of cars. And we're like, I knew it. So it's a Saturday, whatever. So we had fireworks last night, but Pearl really did pretty well. Now Dennis laid down with her and, cuddled her for the half an hour, 40 minutes that they were setting things off across the street. But she really did pretty well. She didn't pee. Although we did find a little dribble of pee in the bedroom, so it's possible she was up there when we were gone and they had set off a firecracker or something and made her nervous. But she really did very well. But if they didn't shoot them all off last night, there's going to be more tonight. So we're still prepared. We have rugs down and towels and everything, because she pees. But she and Dennis laid on the floor and cuddled, and she was pretty okay. She wasn't shaking too hard, and she was, so she seems to be getting better with thunderstorms and things, so knock on wood. I don't have any wood, but knock on wood. She's doing okay. Anyway, ramble, but, yeah, let's see how I do today. Maybe at least get it set up, find all the parts, try it. I'm definitely going to have a practice run, so, who knows how it's going to look, because it's been a long time. Maybe it's like riding a bicycle, but I hope not, because I used to ride bicycles all the time when I was a kid, and I cannot do it now, so I'm hoping it's not like riding a bicycle. That's my plan. Anyway, I'm going to go. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please. And I'll tell you how it goes, good or bad. And I'll watch day 1 of the Tour de France, which was yesterday. I'll be 1 day behind. So don't come here for the latest news on the tour. Meanwhile, please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please stay safe and stay sane.